Wow, wow, got a chop on ya. He did chop on fuga fuga. Oh, got a chop on yanga 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 yanga. Boom boom boom. Oh, got a chop on wow. Money, oh, on the money. Africa money, oh, got a chop on mo. Poor man they work, rich they enjoy. I say how we go bridge oh. They got between accountant they chop oh. Oh, got a chop on fuga fuga. Back manager they chop. Oh, got a chop on pasta pasta. Director they chop oh. Oh, got a chop on yanga yanga. Even pastors they chop 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 chop. Hey, l'argent, j'ai bien cherché, mais j'ai rien gagné. Le chef politique a tu pu faire oh 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 oh. Oh, got a chop on fuga fuga. Oh 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 oh. Oh, got a chop on pasta pasta. Eh oh oh eh oh oh. Oh, got a chop on yanga yanga.
And once you hear this, you know it's time for Corruption Watch here on the Super Morning Show. 7 minutes to 9. But you know, it's definitely up to us. It's up to you and I. We need to put a smile on the face of our northern brothers. So why don't you do this? Now, Joy FM together with EcoBank have set up this account at EcoBank. That account name is Northern Floods Disaster Fund. And the account number is 1441002338104. 1441002338104. And the branch is at EcoBank Head Office branch. You can also donate the EcoBank mobile app by following these steps. Open the EcoBank mobile app, select Pay Bills, then select Pay a New Bill. Select Donations and select Northern Floods Disaster Fund. Enter amount to be donated, enter your name, mobile phone number, and email address, then follow the prompts to complete payment to the fund. Let's do this. It's very important. I mean, the farmers have lost their yields. It means they don't know where to, get money from to even feed this year. But let me say good morning to you, Mr. Amadou Yaya, who's MD of Hisense. To you, Mr. Japon, you're MD of Farmer Trust. Joseph Dakon, your marketing manager of Ashfoam, and you, Mr. Richard Ajay, who is MD of Kasaprekon. Mr. Hammond, your MD of Golden Fingers Industries. Kwesi Ziga is marketing manager for Petrosol. Salama Dadavo, CEO of MTN. And to you, Madam Patience, Kwe, CEO of Vodafone. We're saying a special good morning to all of you. And as a result of your schedule, you know that even as you wish to donate, you're unable to join us immediately with your donations. So we'll pass by and, have those donations. But of course, the Momo number is 0593038768. 0593038768. So you could just write it down, 0593038768, and make your donation. But as a nation that seeks economic prosperity, our goal should be to build a Ghana beyond aid. And thanks to the Ghana Export-Import Bank's One District, One Factory initiative, working in areas such as pharmaceuticals, poultry, youth in greenhouse, enterprise projects, sweet potato, avocado, the cassava plantations, development and processing, garment and apparel, share processing and export, and fruit processing, and so much more are in progress. Now, these will help create employment, boost our export, and make Ghana self-sufficient. Ghana Exim Bank calls this the Made in Ghana 4P. That's produce, promote, purchase, and prosper. So if we believe in Ghana beyond aid, then let's prosper as a nation by producing, promoting, and purchasing our own products. Like and follow us at GXMGH on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Ghana Exim Bank facilitating Ghana's international trade. But I've got great news for you, and it's the great news that you've been waiting for, because Hantech Markets is finally here in Ghana and currently operating virtually. As an industry leader, Hantech has been in the industry for 30 good years, serving our millions of clients globally. And guess what? We're dedicated to teaching and mentoring interested individuals on how very financially rewarding the global financial market works. Have you ever thought of creating an extra source of income or even becoming a full-time financial markets trader? Well, we're here to help you actualize that vision. So just visit us online at www.hmarkets.com or call 0509 928008. 0509 928008 and let us mentor you on how this enormous market works and how to profit from it consistently. The best part is our mentorship is absolutely free of charge. Hantech Markets, trust through transparency. But you know, it was right after his studies in recycle management that Paul Kofi accepted the challenge of building with plastic waste. Today, not only does he help in recycling our environment, he provides jobs for many Ghanaians. Ghana at ABSA, this is Africanacity. It is our inspiration behind who we are and what we do. It's our commitment to helping people find a way to get things done. We love Africanacity. To find out more, visit absa.com.gh. And the Ghana Revenue Authority wishes to inform the general public that Section 3, that's the rate of tax, and Section 5 of the Communication Service Tax Act 2008, Act 754, have been amended by the Communication Service Tax Amendment Act 2020, Act 1025. Now, the new Act 1025 specifically reduces the rate of tax from 9% to 5% for the use of electronic communication services that are provided by electronic communication service providers. So kindly note that at least 20% of the revenue generated from the tax will be used to finance the National Youth Employment Program. And so the effective date of implementation of this rate is Tuesday, 15 September 2020. All electronic communication service providers are therefore required to levy the new rate 5% on all charges for usage of communication service provided in accordance with the provisions of Act 1025. So what more does Ghana need to do, to bring corruption in all its forms to the barest minimum, if not eliminate it? From the perspective of the New Patriotic Party, we do nothing more than we're doing now. I mean, they have no new interventions to implement according to their 2020 manifesto. On the other hand, the NDC promises to implement a number of interventions under its proposed Operation Sting. So, today on Corruption Watch, we will stage the anti-corruption debate as we assess the NPP and NDC manifesto commitments on anti-corruption against the nation's aspirations as captured in the National Anti-Corruption Action Plan 2015 to 2024. You know what? Just stay right here with us because this promises to be very, very exciting. And Corruption Watch is sponsored by Danida in collaboration with our partners Ghana Center for Democratic Development, CDD Ghana, Ghana Integrity Initiative, GII, Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition, GACC, Africa Center for International Law and Accountability, ASILA, and multimedia platforms Joy FM and Adum FM. So you can definitely join us on Facebook as Corruption Watch Ghana, Twitter is Corruption Watch or at CW Ghana, Instagram Corruption Watch _GH, YouTube is Corruption Watch Ghana, and our website corruptionwatchghana.org, and our hotline is 055 220033, and our WhatsApp number is 055 220033 or 055 453 6295. The hashtag is Wanamoni or Ghana Bre. So there are 6 segments on Corruption Watch, but on this episode we are focusing on one segment, and that's on the Anti-Corruption School. You know, we stage debates, civic education, and empower resource persons to share their knowledge of anti-corruption cases and issues we feature on Corruption Watch in order to deepen our understanding of the issues. This morning, we're privileged to have Bright Kwejosowu. He's head of programs and deputy executive secretary of the Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition. Andrew Japamesa is representing the NPP, and Godwin Aduji Tamaklo is representing the NDC, with Ernest Kofi Abochi, Dean of the Faculty of Law, the University of Professional Studies, also joining us. But it's generally agreed that corruption impedes Ghana's development aspirations, and there is a genuine concern that Ghana is unlikely to meet many sustainable development goal targets if it fails to act decisively. So we need to find a solution. Therefore, we're examining the 2020 election manifestos of NPP and NDC in our quest to find out who has a superior solution to Ghana's corruption problem. Kojo Yansing is here, and he'll be joining me to situate the conversation in context. Kojo.
Yes, indeed. Why don't I start with a bit of a trip back down memory lane? In December 2018, the civil society fraternity, under the auspices of Corruption Watch, raised some concerns about the creeping normalization of corruption among the populace, pointing out that it poses a threat to development. Now, the civil society actors pointed to several indices to drum home the point that Ghana has stagnated in its fight against corruption for the last decade or so. Now, for purposes of our discussion today, and in order to balance the scale for NPP and NDC, why don't we examine indices for the 8-year period from 2013 until 2020. So, the Transparency International Corruption Perception Index has some results that show that between 2013 and 2019, Ghana has never attained a score of 50, which will represent at least a pass mark, right? Now, from a score of 46 in 2013, Ghana improved to about 48 in 2014, but has since declined steadily, hitting 40 in 2017 before making marginal improvements to score 41 both in 2018 and in 2019. There's a similar trend emerging if you break down data from the 7 rounds of the Afrobarometer surveys. Fundamentally, the story is that perception of corruption amongst public officials and informal leaders have been rising. Now, a major concern has been the opacity that surrounds investigations, because it's widely believed that punishing corrupt persons will serve as a deterrent to potential offenders. So, to illustrate this, let's talk about 10 of the unresolved alleged grand corruption cases that both the NPP and the NDC have superintended. So, the first one is the 51 million Ghana cedi Alfred Wuyume case. Then there's the case in which the Central Medical Stores was burnt down in 2015, costing the country about 350 million Ghana cedis worth of medicines and medical supplies, allegedly to cover up 3.5 million Ghana cedis of alleged fraud. Then we have the Bost Fuel saga, in which an estimated 1.5 million Ghana cedis, which was lost to Bost between 2014 and 2017, is still yet to be concluded. The $100 million aircraft purchase scandal, in which Ghana Gas money was used to purchase aircraft at alleged inflated costs. Then there's the empty ambulance scandal. You remember that one?
Sure, I do.
Yeah. There's also the missing excavators scandal, the Kwesi Nyantechi case, the Galamsey bribe scandal, the contracts for sale case involving the suspended PPA boss. We've got the Australia visa scandal as well. There have also been some key legislation. In fact, I think we should end with that note, okay? Because both parties have passed some laws with the purpose of fighting corruption. So, Ghana is well acclaimed for its laws. Our bane, however, has always been enforcement of the law. So, since 2013, this country has passed some beautifully crafted laws. The NDC, for instance, detailed in the Green Book of 2016 that a raft of legislative instruments, laws, constitutional instruments, and other legislations were prepared and put before Parliament for approval. Here are a handful of legislations that were promulgated between 2013 and 2016. We have the Public Procurement Amendment Act 2016, Act 914. We have the Anti-Money Laundering Amendment Act 2014, Act 874. The Anti-Terrorism Amendment Act 2014, Act 875. There's also the adoption by Parliament of National Anti-Corruption Action Plan, NACAP, and that's a big one, in July 2014. The NACAP is basically the national blueprint for fighting corruption over the period 2015 until 2024. Okay? On the other hand, here are a handful of legislative reforms carried out under the NPP since 2017. There's the Witness Protection Act 2018, Act 959. There's the Office of the Special Prosecutor Act 2018, also Act 959. Of course, this is the big one for the NPP. Then there's the Corporate Restructuring and Insolvency Act 2020, Act 1015. The Public Financial Management Regulations 2019, which is LI 2378. There's the Right to Information Act 2019, Act 989. There's the Companies Act 2019, Act 992, and that provides a framework for establishing a beneficial ownership register. Now, let me just mention a little bit about the NACAP. As I indicated earlier, NACAP is basically the national blueprint for fighting corruption over the period 2015 to 2024. So that means from now until the 2024 elections, whatever blueprint proposed by the political parties should address gaps in our system to help us achieve the objectives of the NACAP. Now, here are the strategic objectives of NACAP. This is what I would like to wrap up with. And as we mention these objectives, let's ask ourselves how much as a nation we've done to achieve them. So there are 4 of them. First, to build public capacity to condemn and fight corruption and make its practice a high-risk, low-gain activity. Second, to institutionalize efficiency, accountability, and transparency in the public, private, and not-for-profit sectors. 3, to engage individuals, media, and civil society organizations in reporting and combating corruption. And 4, to conduct effective investigations and prosecution of corrupt conduct. Winston, I think I'll leave it there.
Right. Thank you very much, Kojo, for contextualizing the situation for us. So we have in studio Andrew Japames, a member of parliament for Sekondi. He's a lawyer, and also Gordon Edujitamak, representing the NDC, also a lawyer. We'll be having a good conversation. But we've been joined on the phone by Bright So, who is head of programs and deputy executive secretary of the Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition. I'll start off with Bright, and then before I get in studio. So, Bright, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning, sir. Good morning to our listeners of Joy FM.
Great. So, from the Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition point of view or perspective, how would you describe the state of corruption in Ghana?
I think, as I heard earlier, we started naming a number of legislations that this government has passed over the last 4 years, about 3.5 years. And as a legislative bit, has that translated into actual results that have seen a reduction in corruption in the country? I do not think that has happened. That has not happened at all. If you look at our corrupt perception index scores, 48, which was in 2014, 47, 43, 40. For 2018 and 2019, we're stagnant at 41. The difference really has been that while sometimes we tend to look at the big cases and corruption scandals and say what has happened to those, and we try to use that as an index to tell the level of corruption, what is being done against corruption in this country. For a number of these indicators and a number of these barometers, they look at the everyday situation. So, for instance, we take the corrupt perception index. Our current scores are sourced from 9 different institutions. For 7 out of those 9 institutions, the issue of bribery and non-documented payment, or in other case, illegal payment, is a key indicator they use. And the fact that we continue scoring very low at 41, and within the 40s since, we've never gone beyond 40, tells you that bribery and non-documented payments are things that are still ongoing. And also, we do not look at, at that particular thing. But that's where, when people say there's corruption, that's where they experience it the most. Because it's a lot more difficult for you as a citizen if you've gone out there, earn your money, and then you're supposed to go get a permit, a license. For business, you're supposed to go get a contract, and then you have to learn that you have to spend extra money to go to get access to those. That aspect of corruption has not changed much.
So I mean, talking about... yes, go ahead. Go ahead. You're making a point. Go ahead.
Talking about a lot of laws and regulations, and most of them passed within the last 2 years, they do not necessarily translate into some of these everyday corruption that we encounter. And for that, they need to institutional reform. I'll give examples, and they're not perfect examples, but it's an example of something being done. You take the DVLA, for example, with their extra streams, Prestige, and I see another stream. For instance, you get if you did the license, as you go into a faster, you pay more money for it, but at the same time, you are going through a stream that assures after service. You see the example part of the recognized issues that were going on. They said, okay, let's do something online. I've used it and it worked quite well. That's why we teach them don't see at all.
Right. If you could kindly reposition yourself. We seem to be losing you. But while you do that, let me introduce Ernest Kofi Abochi, who is the Dean of the Faculty of Law at the University of Professional Studies. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Abochi.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. So, the general consensus is that there is corruption and corruption is a problem. But what forms of it are of the biggest concern to you?
Hello, can you please repeat the question again?
So I'm saying that we all agree that corruption is a problem, but what forms of corruption to you is of biggest concern?
It's hard to estimate which one is bigger than the other, because in the scheme of things, we have basically two categories of corruption in Ghana. We have what is called the grand corruption, and then we have the petty corruption. The grand corruption obviously happens, as the name suggests, on a grander scale. And that tends, obviously appears to obtain largely among the political class and the business class. And because of the extent of power they wield, the decision-making authority and responsibility they have, that obviously tends to be bigger in terms of numbers. The petty corruption appears to obtain largely among the regular people. But the name may be deceptive. It may be petty if you take them individually, but if you take them collectively and in terms of its overall impact on the economy and the country, it is as impactful as the grand corruption. So even though the grand corruption comes in bigger numbers per individual, the petty corruption comes in an equally bigger number per collective and overall impact. So these are the types of corruption, and it's difficult to estimate which one is bigger or more impactful than the other, because I indicated, if you look at them from the larger picture perspective, they probably have the same degree of impact on the country and the economy as a whole. Okay.
So by December, both presidential candidates of the NPP and NDC would have been president for about 4 years and will all be running on their record. How do you assess their fight against corruption?
Let's be real. There are political realities and challenges that have confronted the fight against corruption for a long time. I have not seen any major changes that justify a higher degree of confidence as far as the dynamics are concerned moving into 2021. The political realities manifest at least in three key areas that need changes in order for us to make any impact or for us to achieve any transformative effect on the current dynamic. We need three key things must happen, and that's what I'm saying. Unfortunately, I don't seem to have that confidence because I'm not seeing that massive changes. The first one is that we have to deal with the challenge of campaign financing. Look, we're kidding ourselves if we think we can change corruption when we haven't changed the root causes of corruption. And a key root cause of corruption in Ghana is campaign financing. A lot of people pay for, so to speak, campaigns and finance political parties and see these with the mindset of an investment. In other words, in their minds, they are investing, if you like, in the political process. And as they invest in the political process, there's always an expectation of a return. Investment has a return. The concept of campaign finances in developed countries or developed democracies, and I'm sure the framers of the Constitution also contemplated that, was that there were going to be donations on the basis of, people's desire to support the political process. The expectation is not that people are financing because they're investing and expect a certain return. Unfortunately, that has been the trend. So until that trend changes, we're going to have a major problem. The second one, because there's no time, quickly moving on to the second one. The second one is the issue of a convoluted bureaucracy. Petty corruption often happens within the convoluted bureaucratic arrangement. Look, once rules are not clarified, and once you have multiple layers of approval and multiple layers of authority, once you have a bureaucracy which is largely opaque and complicated to deal with, people are going to negotiate their way out of the difficulty. And the way they do that is by their way out. If you simplify rules, in which case we don't need too many explanations and we don't have too much discretion. And if you reduce the number of approving authorities, you minimize the prospect of corruption. The third one, and the final one, is that we have to deal with the cost-benefit incentive analysis of corruption. So long as corruption, the practice of corruption or indulging in corrupt practices or acts balances on the side of benefit, people are going to indulge in corruption. Let's be realistic about this. If someone is about to, undertake an act which is deemed corrupt, and the person asks himself the simple question whether this act could result in, say, prosecution or a bigger risk than the potential cost of the action for which he's about to indulge in corruption. If people calculate these things, people are rational, and if the calculation and consideration balances on the side of cost, people are going to avoid corruption. But if it balances on the side of benefit, then it's easier to indulge in corruption. So the incentives of corruption need to be removed. Okay. As I put these three things together, I mentioned to you at the beginning that the reason I'm not so confident is because these are the big issues which, unfortunately, both parties, and over the years, you don't seem to see that real desire to move the levers. Now, the reason there's a bigger one is the political pressure and the realities that I mentioned at the beginning. The parties need financing. People must finance them. The parties somehow must be resourced. And the state hasn't catered for them. And the people who are catering for them have an investment mindset and expectation. It is a reality that is difficult to overcome. And I don't, mean to dampen spirits, but realistically speaking, this is a hard call.
Okay. Can you hold on for us? Thank you very much, Kofi Abuchi. We'll get back to you shortly. But let me get in studio and to the political parties. Godwin Edudzi Tamaklo represents the NDC. Andrew Japah-Mensah represents the NPP. I start off with you, Edudzi Tamaklo. So, what's the NDC's assessment of the state of corruption in Ghana?
I was thinking you would defer to my senior, but that's fine. We have basically lost the fight. And we have lost the fight because the current leadership appears to be corruption enabler. And regrettably, the body language of our president was in opposition, and his body language today relative to the realities of corruption has become a very terrible one. In fact, his body language is diametrically opposed to the campaign promises Winston that he made. But you see, Winston, I've always maintained in my conversation on corruption that a brief historical analysis of corruption and how we have fought it will give you a clear understanding of the fight collectively we are faced with. Look, Dr. J.B. Danquah, on the 8th day of December 1951, wrote a letter to the then governor, Sir Charles Noble Clarke. And I want to just read. Okay. He said, "In the name of God, delay no longer, but appoint a commission of inquiry into corruption and bribery, as well as misuse of public funds that is going on in this country. Information reaching me regarding the assembly place, which scheduled to cost £20,000, but has cost the country £84,000. What does it tell you? The issue of inflated
contracts.
Fantastic. Then he writes a personal letter again to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah after writing this one to the governor, not satisfied, on the 4th day of November 1959. And this is what he says: "It ought to be clear by now that the practice of ministers, commissioners, high and regional or district, and other political agents of government taking presents of money or gold or kente or kind from the members of the public, including chiefs, is not healthy and does not inspire a decent public life. Fraud and stealing are becoming rampant, even at the post office and the police force," unquote. The reason why I am putting this matter in context is that these issues of political conversation relative to corruption is something that governments, possibly from antiquity, have been trying to resolve. What is key in this conversation is a certain leadership response. And that is why when you first asked me, in opposition, listening to President Akufo-Addo, you believe that the public purse will be so protected under his leadership. In fact, if you recall his inaugural address, he made a point, I shall protect the public purse by insisting on value for money. And his famous quote, I shall not practice family and friends. Now, if you put all of this together, and what is currently happening today, the irresistible conclusion that one comes to is that President Akufo-Addo has completely lost the fight against corruption. And I always say that between myself and my senior here, we can judge or talk. But a more neutral agency like Transparency International, their score of the two political parties, the NDC and the MPP, is instructive on this matter. And that is why in 2013, they scored Ghana 46. In 2014, they scored Ghana 48. 2015, 47. 2016, 43. 2017, when President Akufo-Addo took over, he scored 40, his first mark. Then 2018, 41. He maintained the same 41 in 2019. So even the worst record relative to the Transparency International own score of President Mahama is still better than the overall score obtained by President Akufo-Addo. Obviously, we don't have that of 2020.
Okay, so let me just get to Mr. Mensah at this point. So he's talked about the assessment, and he's ended on the track record. What is your own assessment, your party's assessment of the current state of corruption in Ghana?
Well, let me say good morning to our cherished listeners and my co-panelists on the phone and Edudi Tamaklo, and of course your good self. Of course, I did not expect anything else from Edudi Tamaklo because clearly he's concluding on the corruption perception index that is measured by the international organizations such as the Transparency International and the Afrobarometer. Clearly is what is informing their strategy of putting out there as much allegations of corruption as possible without any basis to feed into the sense of a perception of corruption. Because that's the easy part. Make the allegations, drum it home, don't put any basis to it, don't put any proof to it, don't provide any evidence whatsoever, and then create a sense of the government being corrupt. But I would have thought that if we focused on the key issues that Kofi Abuchi, my very good friend, and the other gentleman raised, then we could be making progress as regards what it is that as a nation we could do to eliminate as much as possible, to reduce corruption significantly. Because you see, Weston, if you look at the track record of the NPP administration, clearly we all know that the human element within the governance structure, and Kofi mentioned the convoluted bureaucracy and also the cost-benefit incentive and of course the campaign financing. As much as possible, when you take the human element out, then clearly you will be taking away as much as possible the ability of people to then be corrupt. And so what have we sought to do? We've sought to formalize the economy by implementing policies that clearly will take away as much as possible the human element. We haven't achieved it all. Okay? You see, oftentimes you hear the NDC list a plethora of issues and say that because some resolution has not been put to some of those matters, then it means that the president's body language is one that facilitates corruption. Winston, as if to say that institutions of state do not matter, and that due process is relevant in the fight against corruption, and that the fact that somebody raises an issue, an allegation against a certain government official, that necessarily ought to lead to some action that convicts the person without going through due process. That there ought not be an investigation that is carried out. This is a government that the Auditor General himself admitted respect to the level of resources that has been made available to the institution. This is the government that has passed the Public Office of Special Prosecutor. Indeed, at the committee level when we were deliberating on the bill, I recall the comments that the Honorable Abambabin made. What creature are you people putting up? Clearly, the institutional and legislative reform that needs to be put in place has been put in place to a large extent by the New Patriotic Party government led by His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo. So to suggest that because due process has, if you like, exonerated some individuals who have been accused of wrongdoing, that then makes the president's body language one that enables corruption. Clearly, it's far-fetched.
But this due diligence you talk about, there's been instances, for instance, where the national security, in the case of Bost, national security says, oh, we've cleared the person. National security is conducting investigations, and they say we've cleared the person. How would you convince Ghanaians that indeed this person did no wrong?
But state security agencies are not investigative bodies.
National security is the one you trust to do that?
The state security agencies are not investigative bodies.
The CID is.
But the CID is not part of state security.
But they didn't do this. National security did.
Well, you need to confirm whether indeed the national security apparatus hasn't got the capacity to conduct investigations. Because if they do, because as far as I'm concerned, there are a plethora of investigative bodies that are operational in this country, including state security. And then the CID, there's YOCO, there's the Office of the Special Prosecutor. All of these bodies conduct investigations. Indeed, even the Ghana Revenue Authority has the capacity to conduct investigation relative to tax matters. Okay? And so if a body of state which has a mandate to conduct a particular investigation carries out the investigation, submits its report, that then exculpates an individual that has been accused of a certain wrongdoing. Merely couching a catchphrase, clearing him to, as it were, put the issue in a certain light, in itself, for me, it's far-fetched.
Well, the special prosecutor has complained about parallel investigations. So the investigations he's conducting, and then another state agency conducts it, practically making it impossible for him.
So, listen, we need to realign our legislative regime. And these are things that ought to be a subject of conversation that we dispassionately have.
These are things that should be led by the government,
you see,
which you belong to by way of your party.
The creature of the Office of the Special Prosecutor was one that was intended to empower that body to be able to conduct investigations all the way through to prosecution without government interference.
Okay.
Yes, the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service is in place. They also carry out investigations. That's why the law setting up the special prosecutor deliberately carved out certain specific offenses that the special prosecutor's office was entitled to investigate.
I'll come back to you.
By all means, the whole essence of legislative reform is that when you implement the rules and their gaps, then you take steps as appropriate to fix those gaps.
Okay.
But merely suggesting that, some people have gone through due process, no crime was established prima facie against them, and as a consequence, those people have been left off the hook, as is expected, amounts to one clearing his appointees.
Okay.
Clearly.
Hold on, I'll get back to you. Still listening to Corruption Watch here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM with me, Winston Amoah. And so today our focus is on the political party manifestos on corruption. We heard earlier from Kofi Abochi, who is Dean of the Faculty of Law at the University of Professional Studies here in Accra. Brighto is Programs Manager of the Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition. And in studio with us, Andre Japamesa, Member of Parliament for Sekondi, representing the NPP, and Godwin Edudzi Tamaklo, representing the NDC. But nominations for the Ghana Energy Awards are ongoing till the 30th of September, and so under the auspices of the Ministry of Energy, sector agencies, and the World Energy Council Ghana, this year's event is under the theme, Excelling in Crisis, the Energy Sector in a COVID Era. And the companies, individuals will be competing in various categories such as the Energy Personality of the Year, Energy Company of the Year, Innovation Project of the Year, Rising Star or CEO of the Year, Energy Reporter of the Year, and in many other categories. And the validation is done by Mazars Ghana. You can nominate a company, yourself, or someone at www.GhanaEnergyAwards.com. Industry partners: We Power Authority, Ghana Gas, Volta River Authority, Energy Commission, Menergy, Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors, ECG, PURC, Association of Oil Marketing Companies, and COPEC Ghana. And the Ghana Energy Awards 2020 is organized by the Energy Media Group in partnership with CH Business Consulting Ghana. Call them on 055-930-0631 for further inquiries. Nominate now. Time to protect your future with our life insurance policies. Our products are designed to offer you peace of mind, especially in this COVID-19 era. So to our policyholders, your claims are very important to us, and we advise you to visit our offices or GlycoLife website, www.glycolife.com, to lodge your claims for prompt service. Either we're surviving COVID-19 together, so please pay your premiums via your chosen mode of payment or by Momo on 059-144-1473 or by e-premium for microinsurance to safeguard your policies. Our call center team is ready to support you, so call us on 0202 22113 for assistance or contact us via our digital channels. We care about your safety, so all our officers are implementing the Ghana Health Services recommended COVID-19 protocols. Prudential Bank Limited wants to inform all its valued customers and the general public that payment of GRA custom duty can be made at any branch of Prudential Bank nationwide. For more information on how to pay your customs duty, please walk into any of our 43 business locations in Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Kufuria, Takrady, Cape Coast, Tamale, and Techiman for assistance. You may also call our office on 055-185-8585 or log on to www.prudentialbank.com.gh for further information. For the best service experience, pay your customs duty at Prudential Bank. Prudential Bank, truly dependable. But residential fire and burns remain major causes of unintentional home injury and death. So while burns may generally result from open flames, a huge percentage of burns are actually caused by hot water. Here are 5 tips to prevent fires and burns in our homes amid COVID-19 pandemic. Use the back burners on the stove where children are unlikely to reach. And remember to stay focused in the kitchen. Keep irons, candles, and other open flames out of reach of children. Don't cook and hold a small baby or child at the same time. If you can afford it, install smoke alarms throughout your home and keep a fire extinguisher in your kitchen or an easily accessible place. Stay safe. Heaven can wait. Now, this message is powered by the Ghana Chamber of Mines. Visit our website, www.ghanachamberofmines.org, for more information. All right, so let's continue with the conversation, and I still have Andre Japamesa in studio with me, with Edudzi Tamaklo also in studio. So, coming back to you, Edudzi, tell us the NDC's, interventions or priority interventions will pursue if it wins election 2020, and how these interventions will fulfill the expectations of NACAP.
Thanks very well. Now, before I even proceed, it's important that I bring certain perspective. You asked my senior about the bust issue.
Yes.
And how the national security got involved. In fact, it was the beginning of the cover-up. Unfortunately, the records are there. Look, Alfred Obeng, who was then the boss CEO, wrote on a piece of paper that the entire 5 million liters of contaminated fuel be delivered to Movenpina without going through any process required under the laws of this country. When the issue came up and the scandal came out, Alfred Obeng was interviewed on Atinka FM. Then Alfred Obeng indicated that when he had the call to deliver and he is listening to me. When he had a call to deliver the 5 million to Moving Pina, he subsequently had calls that there are other entities that can take the delivery, including Zoop Oil and Mark West. And therefore, he decided that Moving Pina now should give these two other companies out of what they have been given. Can you imagine? When the national security got involved, the national security then came out and said the public procurement processes were fully complied with before Zoop Oil and Mark West got theirs, without knowing that Alfred Obey had already granted an interview on Atinka FM admitting of the procurement infractions.
I didn't know that you were an investigative expert. Have
What?
much more competence than the state security agency.
So the attempt by the National Security Minister, then Mr. Kandapa and co, to cover up the entire Boston was exposed by the earlier interview Alfred Obey himself had granted on Atinka FM. And so that has been the body language with respect to how this government has handled the issue of corruption. Look, Winston, I have always believed that during the time of the OSP, the passage by Parliament, I decided to do my own personal legal study in terms of the historical background to the OSP in Ghana. Do you know that as at the 1980s, we have the Office of the Special Prosecutor. In fact, Senior Bratakwete, the CPP Bratakwete, was one time an OSP.
Okay.
Asasi Jima was a deputy OSP. In fact, his boss was Apia. If you look at the Ghana Law Report, 1984-85 Law Report, there's a reported case of the Republic versus Apia. That Apia was actually the OSP. Finally, do you know why he traveled to London? He ran. Because they found out that while he was investigating Kowus Motors, he took monies in his Ghana Commercial Bank account in London. And in fact, he's the foremost authority on jurisdiction in criminal matters. So he traveled to London to escape prosecution and raised the issue that, the monies were lodged in the Ghana Commercial Bank account. And so the Ghanaian investigative authorities did not have extraterritorial jurisdiction over it. The point I'm making is that we have experimented the Office of the Special Prosecutor before, and it came to naught. The point I'm making is that, look, as we speak today, having passed the OSP Act, Winston, you are a very respected person. Can you score the work of the OSP 2 years under its watch with all the financial resources available? And I have always maintained, and it's my position, I've disagreed with people even in my party, that I believe in an Attorney General who is resourced to do work. Because I strongly believe that when you resource the Attorney General's office, when you have a lot of the officers of the Attorney General and all the things with the financial resources, they'll do a better work.
So now get to my question. We have a little time.
I'm coming. And that is why we have indicated that one of the foremost things that we're going to do, and if you look at our chapter, the People's Manifesto, the portion on good governance, I just need to reiterate this point. We have said that we are going to depend on the Operation Stink. Now, this Operation Stink is multifaceted in terms of the strategies. See, the worst thing that you can do for corruption is what is called the sunshine exposure. Under no circumstance should you entertain corrupt appointees.
In 30 seconds.
It encourages them. So what we intend to do is that the existing legislations relative to the fight against corruption, the strengthening of the office of the Attorney General, critical to us, and also, more importantly, the role of the Auditor General.
Hold it
and
right
that is why, hold on, just some 5 seconds. And that is why our candidate, John Dramani Mahama, had rebuked President Akufo-Addo's intervention, direct interference with the work of the Auditor General.
Thank you. Hold it right there. So let me get to you, Mr. Mensah. And so we see that, in your manifesto, you're partly talking about doing the things that you promised in 2016. And the question is, why no new things in 2020? And how do you intend, going to use this to fulfill the expectations of NACAP?
Because clearly, as you indicated, the objectives of the NACAP, basically to, as it were, build public capacity, institutionalize accountability, engage the media, conduct, engage CSOs and all that, is what we are doing already. The institutional reform, the digitization of key public sector services, the establishment of the National Register of Contracts, the focus on a competitive tendering process as opposed to sole sourcing, which was the order of the day when our brothers were in office. Clearly, the institutional reform, the building of our structures that would ensure that we are able to nip corruption in the bud. The passage of the Right Information Bill, the passage of the regulations of the Public Financial Management Act, the Companies Act that clearly establishes the Beneficial Ownership Register, are all institutional reforms that have already been commenced. The resourcing of the Controller and Accountant General's Department. And you see, he mentions the interference with the Office of the Controller and Accountant General. But you and I know that this was in accord with the Auditor General, established law. The rules require people to proceed on leave every year. And so if an individual who is mandated by our Constitution to enforce some provisions of the law then goes ahead to infringe certain sections of the law, are we then suggesting that those persons are above the law such that nobody can ask them to do what is needful? I disagree. It's interesting that he says that we've toyed with the idea of the public prosecutor in the past, and essentially was unsuccessful because some individuals who occupied that office were compromised, and so he would advocate for a resourcing of the Attorney General's Department to enable them carry out their functions. But clearly in their manifesto, they suggest that they are going to strengthen and resource the Office of the Special Prosecutor. So are you speaking at cross purposes?
You remember even
with
on
the
this,
dictates
I have disagreed personally. Yes. I was very clear on that.
So, Winston, what we are saying is that all these institutional reforms are working, and I will continue to improve the institutional legislative reform. I heard you in your intro say that we did not make any new commitments in our fight against corruption. But if you look at the NDC manifesto and all the commitments that they made, clearly it's re-echoing what is already in the NPP manifesto of 2016 that we've worked with, that we indicated to the people of Ghana we are seeking to consolidate. This notion of Operation Sting, really, what are they seeking to tell us? Because I read it, and all that they say is that we will, as part of the Integrity for Development Action, launch Operation Sting as an anti-corruption crusade, which would involve massive, far-reaching and practical governmental reforms as part of our Integrity for Development Action plan.
I'll get back to you now.
Well, no substance.
Hold on 1 minute.
It's easy to make the promises, but we have your track record to compare. You left government only 3.5 years ago, and the kinds of things that you did in there.
Yeah, so let me come back. Hold on, I'll come back. But I need to go for a short break now. I need to go for some messages from our friends. When we return, we'll wrap up with Aduji Tamaklo and Andre Japamaisa. We'll be right back.
What would you do if you have the choice to do anything in life? Build your dream house, take very good care of your family, and plan for a comfortable retirement. Plan a befitting funeral for your loved ones when they depart. How would you live if you knew there was a friend waiting to support you on all of your life's choices?
You have such a friend in Glyco Life Insurance. Glyco Life has all the plans to meet your life's needs. Your child's education, your life savings, your mortgage, funerals, redundancy, and your retirement, and takes the burden off your shoulders. So go ahead and live life to the fullest today with Glyco Life insurance plans. And remember that all our policies are hedged against inflation. Talk to Glyco Life on 0302 218 500 or 246 142. Also visit our website at www.glycolife.com or any of our branches nationwide for more information.
Glyco Life, we cushion you for life.
Glyco, we cushion you for life.
See, my friend, respite is something we all need in hard times when we have no tool. A bank that cares is a bank worth doing business with. Just imagine you having an obligation and you cannot take care of it in this COVID era, or not being able to continue that project you started. You can take that pressure off simply by choosing GCB's Special Personal Loan Package for salaried workers, which also offers a 2-month repayment moratorium and a reduced interest rate of 24% for all salaried customers who apply for the loans between now and December. And for government workers, an increased loan tenor of up to 48 months awaits you. GCB, your bank for life.
DSTV no dey disappoint. We get more than 20 live matches every week from the best leagues in the world, like the Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, plus the Champions League. Upgrade to Compact Plus now or buy a DSTV Zappa decoder for 229 Ghana cedis with 1 month access. They make you stay connected or reconnected to us from only 45 Ghana cedis per month. Make you download and stream live your favorite games anywhere, anytime with the DSTV Now app. Won't pay we now pay ding. DSTV. Feel every moment.
Multi TV, in collaboration with Syndicated Capital, brings you the 25th anniversary promo sales for only 150 Ghana cedis. Get yourself a quality advanced S2 decoder, quality dish, and an LMB. Don't be deceived by these fake decoders who insist on the quality digger box. With the advanced S2 digger box, you can get over 150 TV and radio channels with sports, news, cartoons for the kids, and other exciting channels. And oh, you get access to the new Joy Learning channel on Multi TV designed for the senior high school students. The quality advanced S2 decoder has over voltage protector, auto scan, and 1-year warranty and a USB slot. So what are you waiting for? Rush for yours now. For inquiry and purchase, call 030-2242-532 or 050-152-9937. 030-2242-532. Quality Advanced S2 decoder is the only approved multi-TV decoder. Quality we promise and deliver.
Anywhere you did, some big dead out.
Akosia, I'm awful. I have to go and deposit today's sales and buy some things before I get home.
Okay, but deposit money at this time. It's past 6 p.m. Which bank is so open?
My daily sales always goes to Stanbic Bank no matter when I close.
Hey.
Even without my debit card, I can still deposit my money at a Stanbic ATM anytime. Stanbic literally follows me everywhere.
Hey, wow. That's good, though. Me, when I close late, I have to carry the cash on me home with all the risk.
Hey.
Sometimes even when I hear mosquitoes making noise in my ears, I itch my heart. I wake up to see if the money is still there.
Akosia, don't make me laugh.
I said that you are laughing. I'm serious, laugh.
Imagine all the 1001 ways you can bank safely without leaving your home or office. If you need any help, send us a message on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at Stanbic Bank GH. Stanbic Bank, it can be.
Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best on Joy 99.7 FM.
Right, so welcome back and thank you very much for staying with us. But you know it's hard to come by money these days, so if it has to be done, then it must be done right. And so with more than 20 live matches on any given week, from the best leagues in the world, La Liga, Serie A, Champions League, and the Premier League, DSTV surely delivers value for your money. So buy a DSTV Zappa decoder at 229 Ghana cedis per, plus 1 month access, and stay connected or reconnect to us for only 45 Ghana cedis per month. Chak umpewe opedeng. DSTV, fill every moment. And the Ghana Revenue Authority wishes to remind all taxpayers, companies, entities, and individuals, including self-employed persons and partnerships, that the third quarter income tax installment payment for 2020 is due by 30th September 2020, and it must be settled on or before Wednesday, the 30th of September. Please note that failure to pay income tax on a due date attracts an interest of 125% of the statutory rate compounded monthly on the outstanding tax. Tell you Ghana, what's up? Well, it's time that you change the way you watch TV with Showmax. Now you can stream or download series, movies, kids shows, and watch sports like EPL and La Liga, Philly, from Super Sports News and more on any device, anywhere you like. Enjoy all these for 59.99 cedis. What are you waiting for? Just log on to www.showmax.com, sign up with your email address and create a password, select a payment method, and you start watching. No commitments, you can cancel at any time. Go to showmax.com and sign up today. But as a nation that seeks economic prosperity, our goal should be to build a Ghana beyond aid. And so thanks to the Ghana Export Import Bank One District, One Factory initiative, working areas such as pharmaceuticals, poultry, youth in greenhouse project, sweet potato, avocado, the cassava plantations development and processing, and so much more are in progress. Now these will help create employment, boost our export, and make Ghana self-sufficient. Now Ghana Exim Bank calls this the Made in Ghana 4P: produce, promote, purchase, and prosper. If we believe in a Ghana beyond aid, then let's prosper as a nation by producing, promoting, and purchasing our own. Follow us at GESMGH on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Ghana Exim Bank, facilitating Ghana's international trade. But why don't you do it for Mama? Do it for your mother, Wear mask for her, mask up for your mama. Because we have a collective responsibility to stay safe, not just for us, but for the people who matter to us. Make Mama proud, so when you go out, wear it for us, wear it for Mama everywhere you go. For this September, the whole family will enjoy plenty of entertainment on GoTV. Keep the kids entertained with great channels like Da Vinci Kids, PBS, Nickelodeon, Disney Junior, Discovery Family, and the Ghana Learning Channel for all ages. And don't miss out on Big Brother Naija drama as the plot thickens. Also relax with compelling series on Star Life, Z-World, Telemundo, CBS Reality, and more. Get your GoTV decoder, GoTenna, and 1 month plus subscription at 109 Ghana cedis and stay connected using my GoTV app for as low as 20 Ghana cedis a month. Terms and conditions apply. GoTV, live it, love it. Well, but they come in different shapes and names. You've seen the rest, but we bring you the best. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your trusted partners, just taking delivery of a high-quality medical grade infrared force thermometer. So if you want any, just call Kingdom Books and Stationery on 0501 401050 or 0244 311 955. You can walk into any of our shops located across the country or visit our head office located at Osu Akweje Junction. So she believed she could, and so she did. Glitz Africa presents the 5th annual Ghana Women of the Year Honors, a celebration of impactful women, social influencers, agents of change, and women driving the agenda. And it's on Saturday, the 26th of September 2020 at 7 p.m. at the Mövenpick Ambassador Hotel Accra, and in partnership with UNFPA. Media partners Joy FM, Daily Graphic, Mirror, BNFT, Ameya Deborah, Yemi Baba, and Ghana Web, with support from Bailey Standard Chartered Bank, the Diaspora Affairs Office of the President, and UNDP. Ghana Women of Year Honors, women inspiring women. But you know what? Just wash your hands frequently and carefully with soap and running water. Rewash your hands several times a day, especially after touching anything, including your phone or laptop. Use a hand sanitizer when you cannot wash your hands properly. Wash fresh groceries. Clean and disinfect surfaces such as countertops, door handles, furniture, toys, laptops, and mobile phones with alcohol-based disinfectants. And that's how you stay safe from COVID-19. So I'm coming to you, gentlemen. In a minute each, we need to be wrapping this up real quick. Aduji, in a minute.
I think on the fight against corruption, we have indicated that it is not enough to put your political opponents through the judicial process by way of prosecution and say you are fighting corruption. The greater sense of leadership is to put your own before the courts, is to punish your own. That is the only way to send a deterrent message across. And so the culture prevailing today of spirited attempts to whitewash, to clean appointees of President Akufo-Addo is what we are promising will become a thing of the past.
Thank you. Yes, Lawyer Mensah.
Advocates of due process, rule of law, who clearly preach otherwise. Is what the NDC is advocating this morning. Due process requires that persons who are charged or accused of an offense go through an investigation, and when a prima facie case is made against them, then they are put before the law courts to be prosecuted. Okay. You cannot just say that merely because allegations are thrown out there without basis, people ought necessarily proceed to prosecute people. That's not going to happen. Okay? Investigations are duly conducted. Institutions of state are going to be resourced. We are going to empower them to recruit, retain, train their personnel. We're going to provide them with resources to enable them fight the corruption that we all seek to minimize in our body politic.
Before I get to Ernest Kofi Abochi, so we've been doing the Up to Us campaign where we're assisting our brothers and sisters.
Our senior
yes, on the line. Where we're assisting our brothers and sisters. So now I'm taking donations. Aduji Tamaklo and Andre Japamasa.
But I thought we had a discussion.
Yes, but you need to announce it.
Well, I heard you raise 100 Ghana cedis per person, but I would do 1,000.
Okay, 1,000.
Looking at his years at the bar, I'm permitted to do 200.
No. Okay, so all of you, 1,000 each. But let me get to Ernest Kofi Abochi and wrap it up with him. Ernest Abochi, sorry for keeping you waiting, but you've heard from the NPP and NDC, so you have the final word in a minute and a half. Yes, what would you say having listened to all of them?
Well, first of all, let me just on a lighter note say I'm grateful I'm not in the studio, given what you just did.
Well, I think I should be doing that also.
It's interesting we're talking about corruption, but I'm great. I am sure, of course, I know you're just supporting a good cause.
Sure.
So the point is this: I think moving forward, we have underestimated the impact of education on corruption. One of the dangerous aspects of corruption is what the psychologists will call head mentality. And lots of people are indulging or practicing corruption today because they think everyone is doing it. So there's a psyche of corruption that is going around, and that's the dangerous part of corruption. So the good ones tend to think they are lagging behind simply because they're not doing it, because everyone is doing it. So there's a mindset of generality. That head mentality we have to reverse. And the way to reverse that is to intensify education against corruption. I think that the death of civic education, particularly in our schools, over the years, have been problematic. And that's something we may want to look at and intensify so that people grow with that mindset of the civic spirit and the spirit of public service when appointed into public offices, and the spirit of just doing the right thing when working within the public services, generally speaking, so to speak. So we have to implement a system of education that fights against corruption, because we are at the psyche level at this stage. Everyone thinks it's okay to just do it. So we've normalized the wrong thing. We have to, the two parties, and that's interesting, the two parties appear to both agree that they have to strengthen the systems. They have to strengthen the systems of corruption. The NPP in its manifesto said they will invest more. I mean, they'll spend more money in the structures and systems to combat corruption. The NDC used the word strengthen. That will strengthen the bodies when they come into power, including the Office of the Special Prosecutor. So there appears to be commitment. Okay. How they fight that is what I mentioned earlier. That's the real difficulty.
All right. Thank you.
The real difficulty is in the area of financing, in particular, campaign financing, among others.
Thank you very much, Ernest Kofi Abochi, for joining us. We're grateful to you that you joined us this morning, and grateful to all of you for also listening to us here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7. On behalf of the team led by Sami Odame, Kojo Youngson, Enimwa Enim Ado, and executive producer Elvis Kwashi, my name is Winston Amwa. Thank you so much for joining us. Up next is the news at 10.